How to make a cinnamon-scented candle. Candles are cozy enough on their own, but mixed with the warm fragrance of cinnamon, they can be even cozier, perfect for cold autumn and winter nights. They are easy to make, and you don't even have to go out and buy special fragrances. If you are hesitant to melt wax, you can make a very simple cinnamon-scented candle with just a pillar candle and cinnamon sticks. The fragrance won't be as intense, but it will still be there. Making a cinnamon-scented candle. Hot glue the wick to the bottom of an empty 4-ounce 120 milliliter jar. Get a wick that already has a metal tab attached to it, and place a glob of hot glue on the bottom of the tab. Quickly press the tab against the bottom of the jar. You can also use a candle votive. It needs to hold about 4 ounces 120 milliliters. If you don't have a hot glue gun, you can use a piece of double-sided tape instead. You can also try to balance the candle wick as best you can. For a fun twist, cut a small, sugar pumpkin in half, and scoop out all of the seeds and pulp. You may need to double the amounts for the wax and spices in order to fill the candle. Place 2 pencils over the mouth of the jar, and balance the wick between them. You can also use pens, markers, chopsticks, or even popsicle sticks. The goal is to keep the wick upright. Melt the wax. Put the wax into a glass measuring cup, then set the cup down in a large pot. Fill the pot with water until it is level with the wax. Make sure that the water can't get inside the measuring cup. Bring the water to a boil over medium-high heat, and wait for the wax to melt, stirring it occasionally. Use an old measuring cup that you no longer use for cooking. Alternatively, you can melt the wax in the microwave at 1 to 2 minute intervals. Stir the wax between each interval. A href equals #_note 4 greater than. Use an old measuring cup that you no longer use for cooking. Alternatively, you can melt the wax in the microwave at 1 to 2 minute intervals. Stir the wax between each interval. Take the measuring cup with the wax out of the water, and stir 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon into the wax using a wooden skewer. For a more intense fragrance, add 15 drops of cinnamon essential oil. If you'd like a more complex fragrance, consider adding 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/2 teaspoon of ground clove. Ref-6 class equals reference aria label equals link to reference 6 greater than. Use pot holders to handle the measuring cup. It will be very hot. Pour the wax into the candle. If you notice any air bubbles, use a wooden skewer to wipe the inside walls of the jar. This will send the air bubbles to the top. Be careful not to knock the wick aside. Keep the sticks to either side of it. Be careful not to knock the wick aside. Keep the sticks to either side of it. Wait for the wax to harden, then remove the sticks holding the wick in place. It may take up to 4 or 5 hours for the candle to completely harden. If you are in a hurry, you can stick it in the fridge to speed the process up. Trim the wick down to 1/4 inch 0.64 cm with a pair of scissors. This will not only help your candle last longer, but it will also prevent it from smoking and creating too much black soot. Use the candle. Place the jar on a heat-safe surface, and light the wick. If you made your candle inside of a pumpkin, use it within a few days. Pumpkins do not last forever.